So sometimes with all this rain, the cattle don't get all their food cleaned out of their bunks before they just get poured. It gets poured on. So I'm here scraping up the last bit of feed that was in the bottom of this bunk. I scraped the whole way, emptied it out. Otherwise that feed will mold underneath and then it will make the new feed not smell good. So I got to clean it back down to the concrete. My big cattle, they will eat through wet feed, but Dad's new cattle, these calves have been here less than 2-3 weeks. They have a lot drier ration, and when it gets wet, it's not as palatable.
Meet the Peterson family. Our dad, the 3 Peterson brothers, and our families farm together in central Kansas. Our family farm started in 1882 and has been raising cattle and crops ever since. Please subscribe to this channel and give us a like and a comment if you enjoy the video.
There's some calves still eating hay. They're getting used to the ration. This is the pen over here we are going to haul across the road today. Well, probably walk them across the road. There's 40 pair in there. There's still 5 pair over there I need to get moved out. But yeah, all those are gonna go across the road on the new growth forage blend. As with all days of my life, you gotta get the feeder cattle chores done first before doing any cow jobs or farming jobs. I think Nathan's gonna help us with the cow stuff today. So it'll be all hands on deck getting those pairs across. We gotta make sure we have them paired up, counted, and before they go out into that tall growth, that'll be hard to see them. God, I'm trapped. Gonna try to get a count on them here, but might have to count them another alley as well. So that was actually easier than expected. I got the perfect count on the calves twice. Got 40 cows and 40 calves both times. So they finished up the green, trapped them in this holding pen. Now they're gonna go across the road to 100 acres of that. It's always easier to call cows, but they aren't coming super aggressively. Easier to call than chase, but I have to do a little bit of both today. Well, it's taken us like 45 minutes to get to this point because the cows are slow and the cows, they want to come backwards and look for all these calves at the back. Keep having to close gates on them so they don't come backwards. All right, now they found the opening, and so we are finally streaming out a little bit. My dad's gonna be out front and Nathan and I are gonna bring the calves behind. All right, I rushed back to get the sidekick. Well, we're doing a cattle drive now.
All right, they're finding it. And then they disappear into the ocean of green.
Here's some of them in the not as tall stuff, so you can actually see them. They're going to be happy out here for at least 2 months or so. There's the field of sedan my dad and I baled up. I think there's 110 bales out there growing back up. It's already halfway up the side of the bale. Nathan and I are making sure they know where their water is, which it's right over here, but they got to be able to find it. So this is on the less traveled road. We put the water tank. Our plan is to move the water tank occasionally so that they eat different parts of the paddock down a little bit more. Almost there, ladies. We found it.
That's Aiden's.
Looks like Test Kit's getting a big
That's
range.
Aiden's.
Roads have been so bad. Are they the ones that got like
not 10 inches, but look, there's some hail.
So Nathan and I seeded this field. This is the split of, this was what Nathan planted with the first mix, which has the turnips and radishes in it. And then that over there has like mung beans in it. I'll show you that, but here's one of the bigger radishes coming out of the ground. So that's what they look like when they get all the sunlight. They don't get shaded out as much by the sedan. But it creates a nice mat to protect the soil over the winter. All right, I'm now at the other field, farthest north field. It's a double crop Milo field. This whole area was underwater. So considering it went underwater twice in, I think either late June or July, it's looking really good. A lot of heads out here, a lot of bug damage, a lot of leaves have been eaten, but a lot of potential still here. This is probably our latest, this will be one of our last fields to harvest for all of 2025 because it's some of our latest double crop Milo. It's using up these rains and it's gonna have more bushels out here. Milo head's definitely not as uniform. I mean, it's not near as uniform looking of a crop as corn is. Milo's pretty cheap to raise, and I'd have to look up what we fertilized this for. But if you can make 75 bushel an acre double crop, that's pretty much always a good deal. And this field raised pretty good wheat. I like to see that. This ground over here is some of the best. Producing, I think it was almost 80 bushel wheat here on this side of the creek anyway. So maybe we'll get that many bushel of Milo. It looks pretty good, and it was underwater too. The other important thing out here is there's not a lot of volunteer wheat, which is always kind of a concern, especially in a rainy year with double crop Milo after wheat. And there's one drown out spot. But that's really not much part of the field, but shows we've gotten rain. There's water standing in the ditches. All right, on my way back home, I decided to drive past the cows. They have eaten most of the leaves. There's a lot of stems left. They'll be ready to come home Monday, I would say. I was trying to decide between Monday and Tuesday. I've got 3 cows that are all back here that all look awful close to calving. I gotta make sure I get this one paired up right. Okay, she was real annoying, but I got her out of the pen. So this is one of my OG cows. She calved by herself. It was one that I bought last year as a 4-year-old that needed polled. And she always has a full white face calf. Pretty cute calf with that little spot. Do you call that its right eye or its left eye? Because in a human we would call that left eye, but since it's just me looking at it, I call her right eye. Well, Nathan was at home trying to prep for a birthday party, his kid's birthday party, on a Saturday night, and I had to call him back over into action because I had all that drama with the cows and which one needed to pull and whatever. But this is what we have left to calve. 22 more to calve. And they're still eating at the bunk. Doing some early morning chores, and it's raining again. So basically, I think 5 out of the last 7 days it's rained between 6 and 9 a.m. It just rains in the morning. All right, it's a rainy morning. Basically, and even the stems, a lot of this. It's a good thing I have a little road here to drive down because it's muddy. I'm gonna back down the road and feed right on the inside of that. So I got those ones on the pasture fed, the spring pears. The fall pears all have their heads down eating. Hopefully all that tall sedan kind of gives a little protection from the rain for the calves, the 1-month-old calves. All right, my dad said 181 header calf, which is what I thought was calving last night, but it ended up being this one. But now I gotta make sure to tag them the right direction. They're both in the same pen here by the chute. All right, the Green Acres feed bunks are being called into action. For these last cows to calve, we're gonna put them out on a field and use these because we need the bunk space for our spring cows and their calves. And if we're gonna keep buying, we gotta have more bunk space. So first time I'm using the Green Acres feeders. Cows are lining up. Today's the day, we're walking them home. Some of them are in the pasture, some of them are grazing the last bit of this sedan. They're either gonna walk out this gate where there's no wire. If they don't come out here, they're gonna go out the corner that we're taking them, which is where I have the wire down. So we have about a 2-mile walk home. I'm in the front, and then we have pickup sidekick 4-wheeler in the back. And we have to walk past the big chopped cornfield of my uncle's. I'm just gonna be able to drive on the road. The fields are too muddy. But we have barbed wire fence to the north and then an open field to the south. So this is our best route home. It's about 1.25 miles west and then 0.5 mile south. Boys! lots of things that the cattle could munch on, but hopefully they keep it moving.
Well, we thought our cows and calves were a little pudgy, so we're taking them for a walk. Get them some exercise. No, I'm just kidding. We are moving them back home. They were grazing a field about 2 miles from the home place, so we're going to try to do it the old-fashioned way of letting them cut across country here back to the farm.
Got a few good lead cows in the front. They are running. They stop for a bite every now and then of some big weeds.
No horses, but we're cowboying. All right, up here we got to go on the road. And there's a house. They have a fence, so, but we gotta keep them out of there.
They seem to be sticking together pretty good. You can't rush cattle on a cattle drive. You just kind of have to let them go their pace. Let a few ones get out in front. Keep the ones in the back from getting too far behind. There is a fence also on this south end, so we just have to go by one neighbor's house. That's the narrowest stretch.
All right, we're in the home stretch. The farm is just past these trees. We're gonna try to make them go through that little gap in the trees toward the home place there. Then they'll have to cross. Then they'll have to cross the pond.
Okay, with the evergreens, and they're home free. They're within our hot wire fences anyway. Basically, they can either go that way around the lagoon or this way. We'll catch them up there by those bunks.
Just about there. Just get out of where the feed truck is. There's the alley. We'll have them caught.
All right, first one through the pen gets a prize. Number 4. My 11-year-old cow. It's been here longest of anybody. 3 out of 4. Yeah, those are some of the originals here. Old cows are showing up the younger cows. All right, and the calves I'm sure are mostly in the back. Up they come. All right, so they will get to eat in this bunk. I'll open up 8A and 8B to make space for the calves here.
There they go into their pen 2 miles later.
I had to give up my pickup for my feet. Need a horse. Getting the irrigation engine out of the pond. So we had pumped this down probably 5 feet, 6 feet, and I was gonna move it down farther. When it started to rain, I'm glad I didn't, because the pond has filled back up to where it was when we started. It's still not completely full, which honestly, we don't really like it totally full all winter because it just eats on the dam and the spillway. But it is what it is. We're not going to need to pump any more water on this Milo. This Milo is, the earlier heads are changing color already. There's a few late heads out there. But we got another chance of rain for tonight. We got basically a full soil profile, so it's in pretty good shape. I'm just ready to get it out of here. But you can see how long it's been sitting here. I had to yank my fuel lines out of the weeds and this hose out of the weeds because everything's kept growing as it rained, but it's a blessing for sure. So we got some really good water. We did pump with this, was really important. You can see the circle where it went around a couple times. Under the water will definitely yield more than the corners. We put extra nitrogen on there too, so we should have a really good crop out there. Milo's not worth much, but I think we will pay our expenses plus a little, and we'll have all that, and then we'll have all that grazing out there for cows, and should have a pretty good seed bed to go to corn next year. So
all right, we moved the cows home from this pasture yesterday. We walked them home. This fence charger unit did a great job this summer. I did end up changing the battery maybe once, I think. but the solar panel did a great job. The fence energizer did a good job. And it does quite a bit of wire, running 6 paddocks through an 80. And anyway, I'm going to take it down, put it on the sidekick. We're going to get it probably set up. At least the solar panel I'm going to use on that 100 acres across the road, because right now it just has a battery, no solar panel. So this was grazed once by 45 pair. It's going to grow back because we don't have a freeze coming yet. And then this will be grazed again whenever we graze that double crop Milo. We'll combine it, and then we will turn cows out on this whole quarter section and these few 13 acres. Or this is like 23 acres, I think, here. It'll get grazed at the same time as that. I saw one of these tubs out here, so I walked out to come get it.
All right, we got a nice leaky cylinder on the old Cat 926. So we have the seal kit because we actually did the other side and we got 2 of them. So now I'm going to try to do this side.
All right, the sun is finally out. My dad and I sorted a pen of steers this morning. Decided rather than hold them a week, we're going to sell them. So they'll probably weigh more like 850 instead of 875, but we're going to take that. Get the risk off the table of the market goes down. And then the other thing we have scheduled for today is a preg check today. It was going to be Thursday, but there's something happening at K-State, Stalker Field Day, that I want to go to, and that's on Thursday. So we moved preg checking up to Wednesday, which means we will wean those calves today. We'll split them, cows and calves. The sun is out, so the calves should have some pretty good weather here now for weaning. Lows in the low 60s, highs in the low 80s. Hopefully they go right to eating. I'll show you the pen now. So the calves are mixed in there. There's about 5 calves not eating. This one over here is eating out of that hay feeder. Hoping that many days of training was enough that they'll all eat straight at the bunk.
All right, we finished sorting cattle and Kendall's getting ready to feed here. All right, we finished working cattle and Kendall's getting ready to feed here, and we're gonna haul some out here as well.
About to get busy. The sun's out, guns out. I'm sure the corn's ready to be picked. The ground's a little soft, but we got some other things. So we're cleaning seed wheat today. The cleaner comes, it's all on a truck, and so we bring a load of this wheat down to Dad's and then clean out of that bin down there. So we have 2 different varieties to clean. So I'm loading this truck. We'll fill all our wagons, seed wheat, and that's what we'll drill all our wheat most of our acres with. We will buy some certified seed, which comes from a seed dealer. But, you know, this seed, the wheat price, especially like if we hauled a load to the elevator and sold it today, it would be less than $5 a bushel, which is a pretty poor price for what like input costs are right now. The plus side is it makes that input cost that much less. So basically what we can clean ourselves is like half price or less of certified seed that we would buy. Your fertilizer is probably your higher, well, definitely this year it's a lot higher expense, but we'll save where we can. We just have it on the schedule every year and get it done in a day.
Today we are cleaning some seed wheat, or rather we've got some people here to clean the wheat for us. We do this because we saved seed from last harvest to plant this year, and so we've got a grain bin full of it, and then we brought the other grain bin here in this semi. So this is the wheat that hasn't been cleaned. It goes into the seed cleaner, and then the bad stuff goes in the grain cart, and then the good stuff goes on the gravity trailer on the other side. The last time we picked corn was 9 days ago. It was last Tuesday. Today is Thursday. We're finally gonna go out and try it again. It's finally dry enough. It quit raining. That was a long rain delay, 9 days. But I hauled cattle this morning, so I'm gonna unhook this cattle pot, put it on the grain hopper semi trailer, and gonna do that for a couple other trucks. We're no longer filling the grain bin. We got the grain bin full, so we're gonna haul the corn to the elevator now. So we need all of our hopper bottom trucks instead of all the end dumps. We've got the one of the trailers hooked up. This is one we actually just bought, so we've never used this one before. It's not a new one. It's a used one, but we upgraded our old one we had for this one. So now we've got 3 nice ones, which is nice. But I'm gonna take the semi up to the field right up here and then walk back. Dad is finishing cleaning the seed wheat with those guys, and then Nathan is spraying. Kendall's been gone all today. He was at, I don't even know what he was at. It was some meeting. There were some speakers on cattle marketing, different things. So he went on a little excursion today, but the rest of us have kept busy. So I dropped the semi off there at the cornfield, and I'm walking up here to get this water truck. The Sterling's hooked onto the tender trailer. We've been trying to water these cows that are grazing this cover crop, but I think they've been drinking mainly out of the terrace troughs where the water's been standing because it keeps raining every other day. This semi trailer, the tender trailer that we've been watering them with, is still full of water, so it wasn't the plan. The cows were supposed to drink the water out so that we could unhook it. Well, it's still full of water, so I'm gonna bring it back to the yard. We're gonna decide what to do with it, but we can't really unhook it here in the ditch, and we might not even be able to unhook it in the yard because it's full of water. Over here is the double crop Milo that we planted after chopping that triticale, and then here's that cover crop we've been grazing. That's the one I fenced all by myself. So a beautiful day out here, nice day for a walk. It's a little warm. It's like 82 degrees, I think. So it's a little warm, cleaning all that seed wheat, but pretty nice day. I'm excited for the fall here. The sun's supposed to shine for the next 2 weeks. Cross our fingers. So we should get a lot of corn picked and probably start on the soybeans here in a week or so. All right, made it here to the semi. This is one of my favorite panoramic views on our farm. See all the way over to Lindsberg. My house is over there, Coronado Heights, Bluffs. And then Nathan is spraying way over there. Spraying off this field. We're getting ready to plant it to wheat. But I'm gonna switch this over to the grain trailer. All right, Dad brought the grain cart up from catching those tailings on the seed wheat, so I think he's done. I'm picking him up here, taking him back to the farm. All right, we're back. 9 days later, we're back. We're right by Nathan's house, so his kids decided to join the party. At least one of them. Is Henley coming?
Yeah, she's coming.
Nathan's got a backyard view over here. Cutting corn right by his house, huh, Owen? Is that your house? You see it? You see your house? Hey, Henley. Owen, can you say corn?
Corn.
Henley, can you say corn?
I want the truck.
You want to go see the truck? Thanks for watching, everyone. Check out our music videos linked in the description. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Snapchat, and explore our website, www.petersonfarmbrothers.com. See you guys next time.